What's up, class? It's Mr. Wicklehouse, and this is the first video of this semester in your Algebra 2 class. It says review of lines, inequalities, and answer notation. This video is just mainly going to focus on a review of lines, which is going to go through the equations and all that fun stuff that you probably remember from Algebra 1. Alright. So, here's the equation of a line. This is the slope-intercept form of a line. Slope-intercept. You might remember this. Y equals mx plus b. Anytime that you're writing these equations of lines to find the slope and the y-intercept, you have to have the y by itself. So sometimes this might be given to you in a jumble, and you might have to go through and solve for y first. But that's something that you guys have done before, and you should be fine with. Remember that the m here, that's the slope, and the b value here is the y. So the slope is always with the x, the b is always by itself. Then the x and the y, they're just a point on the line. So, like if you were given an x, then you'd be able to find the y value, or if you were given a y value, you'd be able to find the x. But the most common question when we're given something like this, in this form, slope-intercept, is to find the slope and the y-intercept of the equation. So, we're going to do these two together, and then tomorrow, we'll do this one as a class. I want you guys to focus on doing this one and see if you could get it on your own first. But that being said, let's try these two. So we want to find the slope and the y-intercept. Well, the slope, remember, is with the x, so that's right here. So the slope, or in other words, the m, is equal to 2. And then the y-intercept, or b, is equal to 3. It's easy. 2 and 3. Bam. Done. Okay, let's look at this one. What's the slope of this one? That's right. M is equal to negative 1/2. And the b, or the y-intercept, is equal to negative 2. Okay? So look at this one by yourself and see if you can figure out what the slope and the y-intercept is. Moving on. Here's some more practice here. Let's look at a couple of these, and then I'll let you look at the rest of them on your own, and we'll review some of this again tomorrow as kind of a warm-up for the class. So let's look at this one, and we'll look at this one. These others, I want you to look at on your own. Okay? So remember what I said, we need to get the y by itself. So I've got y plus 3 equals 2x on this one. Well, I need to subtract 3 from both sides. So I get y equals 2x minus 3. And then, so my slope, m, is equal to 2. And my y-intercept, or my b, is equal to negative 3. It's kind of the idea here. Let's look at this one. Remember, I need to have my y by itself. So I'm going to divide by 2, both sides by 2, which is going to give me this y by itself again. Then that's 4 over 2, and that's 2x, and that's 6 over 2, which is 3. Remember, if you're dividing this equation by 2, this 2 has to apply to that one and to that one. Very common mistake is that we'll want to apply it to just one of them, and then we won't apply it to the other one. So remember, it has to go with both of them. Okay. So then the slope here is 2 again, and the y-intercept is 3. All right. These others we'll go over in class tomorrow. All right. Here's something different. Using points on the line. Given the equation and a point, tell if the point is on the line. So this isn't too bad. This is the x value. This is the y value. I'm just going to plug these in. Okay. So I'm going to have negative 2 equals 2 times 1 minus 4. And I'm trying to see if this side is going to be equal to this side. So I'm just going to do my distribution and do my calculations on this side. Over here I still have negative 2. This is 2 times 1 is 2 minus 4 is negative 2. So this point is on the line. Not so bad. Let's do one more. Do this one right here. So I take the negative 3, plug it in for y. 4 in for x, so 4 over 2 plus 1. Got negative 3 equals 4 divided by 2 is 2 plus 1 is 3. Well, negative 3, is negative 3 equal to 3? No, it's not. So this point is not on the line. You can see these will get more complicated. Look over those on your own. We'll cover them in class tomorrow. Alright. Here's something you haven't done in a while maybe. Finding the slope. So if I'm given 2 points, I want to find the slope of the line. Alright, so slope, or m, is equal to y2, which is the second y value, minus the first y value, over top of the second x value minus the first x value. So we'll do a couple of these together, and then the other two I'll leave for you to do on your own. Alright, so this is x1, this is x2, this is y1, this is y2. I'm just plugging them in. So I take 2 minus 1 over 4 minus 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. 4 minus 3 is 1. The slope is 1. Let's look at the second one. Remember x1, y1, x2, y2. So I've got 2 minus negative 3 over top of negative 4 minus 1. So 2 minus negative 3, that's the same as 2 plus 3, because negative and negative make a positive, so that's 5. Negative 4 minus 1, minus, that's negative 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, but it's one of them's negative, so we get negative 1, so the slope is negative 1. Okay. These other two I'll leave for you guys. We'll cover them in class tomorrow. Alright. Now if I give you a graph and I say, what's the slope of the line? All you're going to do here is you're going to pick 2 points on the line. So I've got 2 points selected for us. And if you can use the intercepts, then that'd be great. So this point here is negative 5, 0. This point here is 0, 2, because the x value here is 0 and the y value is 2. The x value here is negative 5 and the y value is 0. So I'm going to use those 2 points. This will be x1, y1, x2, y2. So I got 2 minus 0 over top of 0 minus negative 5. That's going to be 2, because 2 minus 0 is 2. But 0 minus a negative 5 is going to be 0 plus 5, which is going to be 5. So 2/5 is my slope. Okay, so there's how you do that. Alright, find the y-intercept. Given the slope and a point, find the y-intercept. So we'll do a couple of these together. And then tomorrow we'll cover the other ones. Okay, but I want to make sure you look at them yourself and see if you can figure them out on your own. So what we're going to do here, we'll look at this one first, is I'm going to write what I know, my equation of my line. So y equals, using y equals mx plus b. I'm looking for the y-intercept, so I'm going to be trying to find the b value. So I'm just going to plug in everything I know. I know my slope is 2, so y equals 2x plus b. And then they give me an x value and a y value. So I'm going to plug those in. I've got 3 equals 2 times 0 plus b. 2 times 0 is 0. So I've got 3 equals b. So I know my y-intercept is 3. Now usually after they give us this and they'll want us to write the equation of the line, plugging that in. So I'll get y equals 2x plus 3 is the equation of my line. Okay. Let's look at this one right here. We'll do this one. So again, I'm doing my y equals mx plus b. M is 2/3, so y equals 2/3 x plus b. Here's my point, my x and my y. So I've got -1 equals 2/3 times 6 plus b. 2/3 of 6. 2 times 6 is 12, divided by 3 is 4, so I got -1 equals 4 plus b minus 4, both sides, so b equals -5. Okay. Then I'm just going to plug that back into my equation to get my equation of my line. 2/3 x minus 5. Look at these other ones, see if you can get them done on your own. We'll cover those in class tomorrow. Okay. Last couple things for this video, and then we'll be done. So we want to know what the x and the y-intercepts are from the graph. Okay. So the x-intercept is, of course, where the line crosses the x-axis. Here's our x-axis. And the y-intercept, of course, is where the line crosses our y-axis. Well, here we could see, going down this line, that our x-intercept crosses here at -4, so the x-intercept is -4, 0. And we could see that the y-intercept is right here, where this line crosses the y-axis, is at 0, 6. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alright, so that was easy. This next part's a little bit more difficult, but it's not that bad, really. So I'm wanting to write the equation of the line from a graph. So we want to write the equation as y equals mx plus b. The first part is going to be easy, and that's going to be identifying the y-intercept from the graph. I could see that this right here is my y-intercept. It's between -2 and -4. So b is going to be -3. Now the slightly more difficult part is going to be identifying my slope. But I have 2 points here. I've got 6, 0, which is an x-intercept. So 6, 0. And I can use my y-intercept as 0, -3, and I'll be able to identify my slope then. Okay? Alright. So this is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. So -3 minus 0 over 0 minus 6 equals -3 minus 0, that's -3. 0 minus 6 is -6. That reduces negative into negative, makes it a positive, reduces to 1/2. Okay. From the same standpoint, you could have thought about this using, because remember, rise over run, so I could say, okay, this goes up 1, 2, 3, and it goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the rise is 3, the run is 6. So again, I would have gotten 3 over 6, which would have been 1/2. So now I've got my slope and my y-intercept. So my equation of my line is y equals 1/2 x minus 3. That's all for this video. I know it was a pretty extensive review of lines and it was a little bit long. 15 minutes is a pretty long video, but we're done now and I will talk to you later.